2026. I'd like to start with Irene with the invocation.
Heavenly Father, thank you for bringing us together today. We ask for your guidance, wisdom, and support. Help us to engage in meaningful discussion, work together in harmony, and make decisions that reflect your will. Amen.
Pledge allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Honor and protect the flag.
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
For the record, James is 2 weeks late. And Irene, I'll pass it back to you for a roll call.
Yes, sir. David Bakta.
Here.
Caitlin Shoup. Susie Sullivan. Ed Bennett.
Here.
John Cudd.
Here.
Deanne Heberlin.
Here.
Gabriel Hilpel.
Here.
Kevin Pishnick. James McGill.
Here.
Deborah Morin.
Here.
Jared Garcia.
Here.
Melissa Vela.
Here.
And Brian McCabe.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Hey, Devin, do you know the time that we started the meeting? It was at 9:01, just for the record.
9:01. The meeting started officially at 9:01. We're now officially called to order, and I think we do have a quorum present. So we'll move on, and I'm going to pass it to Deborah.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. So good morning, Chairman, Co-Chair, Secretary, and members of the board. I'd like to take a moment to introduce the newest member of our leadership team, Mr. Jared Garcia as Deputy Chief Appraiser. Jared has been with the Appraisal District for 8 years and has served as an RPA in the residential department, working both single-family homes and condominium and townhome complexes. Also as a residential coordinator, residential manager, and over the last year was responsible for the oversight of the market department and the land department. He does bring valuable experience in appraisal operations and has developed a strong understanding of the Texas property tax system. In his role, he will assist me in overseeing district operations and supporting our appraisal staff to ensure fair and equitable valuations across Nueces County. Please join me in welcoming Jared Garcia to Nueces Central Appraisal District.
Thank you. Thank you all.
Next, I think it's number 6.
Welcome.
Yes.
Do we have any public comment?
No, sir.
Yeah. All right, we'll go ahead and move to our consent agenda. Everybody's had a chance to review.
Motion to approve.
Motion to approve, do I have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passes. Next, I'd like to call Mr. McCabe up, the taxpayer liaison officer's report.
We're rather short, Mr. Chair. We have been, the thrust of what we're doing right now, the ARB is up there meeting, and they've met Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and they're handling it real well. Our thrust right now is to get everybody on board, make sure we have a full complement of auxiliaries and board members, so that when the season starts in May, they can hit the ground running. The activity has been a lot of phone calls, and the primary phone calls have been people calling saying, I didn't know that was my agent. The district did a great service by sending out that letter saying, this is your agent, do you want them or not? Most people don't, or they didn't know they had one. So we're happily clearing that up. The only other item I can think of is that there are 2 vacancies right now on the ARB. I'd like to suggest that in April, we're able to come to you and perhaps we can fill those roles.
That's good.
That's all I have. Thank you. And Mr. Chair, if I may, their meeting up there, I could like go back up there?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, appreciate y'all.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Brian.
That was interesting thing you brought up. I know, we saw, one of the guys I know in the hotel industry, there was a big WhatsApp group, and there's a company out of Dallas, and they were doing that. They were calling small independent hotel owner group. Oh, you want to save you money on taxes? And as soon as the person said yes, they would take their address, submit it to the district, and basically put themselves as agent of record. So probably what,
If you click on that link on Facebook, Instagram, any of that, all of a sudden they're your agent. If you just say, click on it and say, what do y'all do? You're enrolled. Shouldn't be that way. That's, don't click on that link.
Don't click.
don't click. All right, moving on down. Number 9 on our agenda is discussion and or action regarding bid process for applications for the appraisal depository. Adopt an order delegating evaluation authority to a selection committee. Jennifer?
Good morning, room.
Morning.
So, tab number 9 says the Nueces County Appraisal District intends to enter a contract with the depository in accordance with section 6.09 of the tax code. We did send out requests for proposals. It was published in the newspaper late February. It does run through March the 24th. So we do wish to appoint a selection committee when those proposals come in to evaluate the proposals and make a recommendation for selection. That committee would consist of Ms. Deborah, Mr. Jared, and myself. And so that's kind of where we're at right now. We're asking for direction and approval to continue with this bid process for the depository.
Okay. Do we have any questions for Jennifer? No questions? All right, I'll take no questions. I'll take a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passes. Still got you up there, so, discussion and or action to amend, GASP 54 designation of funds.
So on December the 11th, the GASB 54 memo was presented to the board and it was adopted and signed at that time, but upon further review, there were some errors on it. Specifically, the CAMA money was not assigned, it was kind of just thrown in there as cash flow. So I did revise it, as you can see. I did remove the $1.2 million out of the committed and assigned it the next tab down. So you see it, it's very blatantly outlined for you guys. And there also was a little bit of mathematical errors, it was $1,000 off. So I did correct that as well.
So can we approve this and take action?
So it would be a motion to amend the
Okay.
GASB 54.
I'll take a motion to amend. A motion, a second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign? All right, motion passes.
Who made the motion?
Susan.
Caitlin.
Oh, Caitlin, sorry.
Susie
Heard it this
seconded.
way. All right, thanks, Jennifer. Deborah, presentation of the 2025 Nueces County Appraisal District Annual Report.
So we've got this report that you all have in front of you. It's an annual report. It is the year preceding every year, and
Yeah.
So it was a little cumbersome going through this annual report, because what it is a snapshot of the whole prior year, ending December 2025. And so you'll see still my predecessor is listed as chief because he was essentially the chief through December 31st. And so we just had on page, page 7, there's a little, just a sentence right under Mr. Canales' information, just stating that I was interim, and that's it, on that. We do, this actual report is mandated by USPAP, the Uniform Standard of Professional Appraisal Practice. And it's audited through our Texas Comptroller's MAPS review that's every 2 years. They audit and make sure that we are publishing our annual report. The annual report includes statistics on our ARB, statistics on appraisal. It's required to be posted for viewing on our website, and a copy of this report is also available for viewing at every reception area of the building. This report contains information on our taxing entities, our board of directors, our chief appraiser, ARB members, and our ag advisory board members. It also includes budget information, protest information, and our calendars. And it's just a concise report of the district processes statistical data. I don't know if you've had an opportunity to look at it, but if any of you all have any questions, I'm happy to answer.
I have a question. On page 16, where you have your statistical information, I don't quite understand on the lawsuits filed. In 23, you have 2,242 filed, 217 solved, and then you have pending of 286, which makes no sense.
Well,
Because the others are all right, 24 and 25, so.
mhm. And so 286 could have included amended, appended years in that particular 23, because when we had prior legal counsel, there were a lot of older lawsuits, and so that number doesn't surprise me to be that high in 23. Again, at that time, we may have had a lot more lawsuits than we had in 24. Things started to get cleaned up.
So it's cumulative from prior years.
Yeah, I
as well.
just think it needs an explanation on that, because if you just look at the filed and solved and pending, it makes no sense that you would have a higher number pending than filed for that year.
And you're correct.
You know,
So I'll make sure we have a little explanation on that next.
If it's a carryover, it needs to show somewhere. I mean, just if it's a statistical paper,
Yes.
It does make a lot of sense. I know with our business, we had 21, 22, 23, and then those lawsuits all settled, so that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Definitely, we'll include that for the next report.
Deborah, I have a question on page 2. Is February 2025 the date, should that be March of 26, or is that the date it's being
On page 2,
presented?
is that
Yeah,
under?
It's the table of contents on page 2. Just at the very top.
Yes.
Or February 26. And perhaps this page should have your name, just since you're the one presenting
Yes,
the report.
absolutely. We'll correct it and make sure it's in all the right places.
Okay.
Also corrected.
This is public record, right?
Thank you. And, so, if anybody has any other questions or any comments or any suggestions, I'm open to that.
All right, if anybody has any comments, I guess we're confirm that Deborah, unless you have any other questions now, let's just move on down. Jennifer, you're up again. See report identifying current appraisal district contracts.
Okay, so the same 3 contracts are coming up. The bank depository, as I mentioned, is already out for bid. Skipping down, the Microsoft 365 license, that's more or less like a subscription. But the custodian one, I do want to speak about just a little bit. That one is coming up at the end of April. We are looking at the option of not renewing a contract or not going out for bid for a contract, but rather having an on-site custodial staff working part-time. So we're looking at scope of work, hours, maybe incorporating some handyman, changing light bulbs type of scenario. So we will have something to present to you in April. But at this time, we're more than likely gonna have to go month to month, just because the contract is up next month. But we're looking at cost savings, and
Do they come every night or?
they do come every
Okay.
night, usually right around 5 o'clock, and stay several hours into the evening.
Okay.
But we do currently have it structured to where if we have to meet them for on-call, we'll call them, and they do charge for an on-call service. So we're just kind of looking at all those scenarios. And like I said, maybe having somebody on staff working a part-time, maybe 20 hours a week or something like that.
Yeah, the cost isn't crazy, if I'm reading that right, $3,000 a month is really, it's not bad, yeah. It's all
So
right.
we're just looking,
Makes
but
sense.
like I said, more than likely, we will have to go month to month just because the contract is up. But we don't expect it to go too far into the future. Any questions? Okay, thank you.
We don't need to take any action on that. Okay. Does anybody have any executive session items? Do anybody have any executive session items? All right, we'll just keep on moving then. We have no items to discuss from executive session, so we'll move down to 15, and Rob, hand it over to you.
Okay. So I have an update on the TAG 45th Annual Conference. It was at the end of February. So myself and 4 managers were in attendance. We also had Mr. James McGill, and we had Kevin Kieschnick also in attendance. They had some really good sessions. All of us were able to secure 13 continuing education credits, which usually helps we attend the conference, we get to network, we get to ask questions. I know that staff was visiting with other CADs about the House Bill 9 and how they were implementing that piece of legislation in the CAMA. We made some very good connections with Guadalupe County. They also had PACs, and so with IT, Guadalupe County, Jessica Moya, our manager, we're on the right path to getting that installed and verified, tested before notices go out April the 1st. Let's see, we also, we were also able to network with True Prodigy. The CAMA selection that we've solidified, and staff was able to express some concerns, Q&A. We also got to talk to other appraisal districts that have already gone through the conversion. How much time did that take for them, going from PACs to actual True Prodigy? So that was very beneficial. Certainly, we always appreciate being able to go to these, very positive. So we'll continue to see which board members would like to go next year. Moving on, I have an update. As you all know, in the last meeting, we had moved around a couple of clerical positions to create the ARB administrator. And I'd like to go ahead and introduce you to our new ARB administrator. Her name is Zuraya Leos. She's been at the district for 7 years. She will be serving a critical role for the district, overseeing the administrative coordination and operations of the Appraisal Review Board in accordance with the Texas Property Tax Code. Her work will ensure property owners are provided a fair, organized, and transparent process when presenting their protest before the ARB. She will be managing the schedule of hearings, supporting our ARB members, and she will help maintain the professionalism and structure required for one of the most important taxpayer processes within the Texas property tax system. I am pleased to announce Zuraya serving in this capacity and supporting the integrity of our ARB process. So please help me in welcoming Zuraya Leos. board members had a question on TML and if that goes up, what causes it to go up, etc. And I have that. So I visited with our representative, Robin Meacham with Texas Municipal League Intergovernmental Risk Pool. She stated the reasons for increase in our TML rates are due to workers' compensation. It increased 1.70% due to slightly increased payrolls from one year to the next. We also had that auto liability and auto physical damage increased about 16% due to automobile liability rate increases of 17%. And also that we purchased the new 2025 Honda CRV to add to our fleet that replaced the first vehicle that was totaled of no fault to the employees that were driving. And then we also had property increased 12% due to the 5% inflationary values being applied and then a 5% rate increase on top of that. So I wanted to make sure to report that to you all because that was a concern. And that's what I obtained. That's the information I obtained from TML. Any questions? So I guess then we just have our next board meeting date.
Right?
April 9th.
9 a.m. James.
Got it. Got it.
All right, any questions for Deborah? Anyone have any items
I
they'd like to suggest
have
for
a
the next meeting?
question, just because, and it goes back to this, but it has to do with the protests and everything. So we had an increase of 3,000, I think, from 24 to 25, but we had a decrease in online filing. Does that have to do with our system, or is that just because that's rather unusual, right? It should continue to go up online.
Well, we did have some problems with our software last year going online.
Okay.
This
That
2026 will be our third year online. The first year was open to nothing but agents. Last year was open to agents and a few, I don't know, did we incorporate the residential?
We had all property types available last
Okay.
year for our online portal, and we're gonna carry that over to this year as well.
Okay,
And so last year, we were really going through a lot of the kinks.
gotcha.
And so.
Well, it just didn't make sense, that you have less than the year before online. And I had some people ask about the system, so that's why I'm asking, just to make sure, so you're up and running now. Okay.
And we are currently working through some of the last year's kinks
Okay.
with BIS.
Okay.
So we've already had our annual meeting with them, and there's some processes that are in place that they're
Okay.
working through. So
Okay.
That's
if
correct.
you have any taxpayers that have a
I'll send them
problem,
to you
please,
guys. Yeah.
please do.
I will, thank you.
Yes. We anticipate more,
We
higher
are
volume.
continuing to get the new camera system as well, so with the new camera system, it's likely that more people will be filing online, because it's gonna be a lot more simple.
Yeah, that will
Exactly.
help too.
And I think also with the new True Prodigy CAMA system, we're not gonna have as much involvement from BIS on that online portal.
That's correct.
So the kinks that we've been experiencing
Mhm.
should essentially go away at that point. Any questions? Other questions?
Any suggestions for the next meeting?
Did the budget come up as far as, I had to step up for a call real quick, but excess funds is,
That is something we can bring before April, and if you all would like to have an executive session also to discuss, that would be it. for
We
April.
talked about it yesterday also, and I know it's better to have more data, because they're still compiling, and then we have to convene. Talk
Okay.
about it.
And by the way, April's meeting will be pretty robust.
So you better be on time.
9 a.m.?
All right, everyone, if there's nothing else, take a motion to adjourn.
I'll make a motion to.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Let's get our shortest meeting up. Well, it's because Kevin wasn't here.
Yeah.
You guys.